1984, he raped and murdered 8 young women.
Serial killers like to strangle their victims, and that is, I guess, the most common form of killing, because there's more of a connection there, it's more real, and it's not as quick.
In 1987, a Connecticut jury sentenced him to death. But as his execution loomed, Connecticut District Court Judge Robert Shotney set out to stop it.
I've never seen a circumstance in my experience in which a judge went so far in a case in which there is no doubt about the guilt to actually frustrate the lawful Connecticut sentence of death.
The president nominated Judge Shotney to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals on February 24th, praising his ability, integrity, and independence. But Shotney's behavior in the case of serial killer Michael Ross reveals a man far different from the one praised by the president.
I apologize for using words that call into question my character as a judge in that case.
After nearly 20 years on death row and several failed appeals, Ross agreed to accept that sentence and forego further litigation. That's when Judge Shotney intervened and diagnosed Ross with sexual sadism.
Well, he said he should never have been convicted, and then went on to say, or if convicted, he never should have been sentenced to death, because sexual sadism is clearly a mitigating factor, close quote. Can you cite any authority in which sexual sadism has been defined as a mitigating factor?
No.
The judicial oath calls on judges to administer justice faithfully and impartially. But did Shotney have an axe to grind? Well, documents uncovered in hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee revealed that he was involved in the Ross case years before he presided over it as a judge. Shotney and Ross had even exchanged letters.
You were actually involved in this case prior to it coming to you.
Technically, perhaps, but...
Was that made evident to the people who were on both sides of the trial?
It was not, for the simple reason that I had forgotten my prior involvement.
In a serial murder case of 8 people?
Had I remembered, I would have recused myself.
Shotney was so bent on preventing Ross's execution that he took matters into his own hands. He picked up the phone and he called Ross's attorney, T.R. Paulding.
You told him that he was facilitating the execution of his client. These are correct quotations. You said, "So I warn you, Mr. Paulding, between now and whatever happens Sunday night, you better be prepared to deal with me, because I'll have your law license."
I do regret that my words to Mr. Paulding were harsh.